Being raised in Nigeria, I grew up learning valuable life lessons from stories like, who remembers Madame Koi Koi, the teacher that haunted students after lights out? I was warned that swallowing seeds of oranges will make a tree grow out of my belly, or that picking up money on the side of the road would turn me into a goat. Yam. These cautionary tales were created to teach us to be better and shared with us as children to promote positive behavior from an early age. As you can trust, it left an impact on all of us. We haven't turned into yams or goats yet. Seeing how these stories created so long ago had the power to influence a positive future for a young generation was my first experience into how our personal history can shape our future, an observation that would transpire to be the core of my creative mission. My journey to becoming an artist was by no means traditional. I left behind a career in business with no formal training in art. But as I began to teach myself, visit galleries and museums, and basically bury my head in books, I found that the portrayal of African art felt outdated. I saw museum displays of primarily identifiable African material, but struggled to find substantial documentation of art and key figures of art movements from my country. I was looking for a place in history that resonated with me. And in that process, I became fascinated by the freedom and experimentation of modern art heroes like Henri Matisse and Marcel Duchamp. However, art from my continent felt stuck in the past. The portrayal felt very stuck in the past, and I always wondered, where was the focus on the future? Where was the focus on experimentation? Where was the focus on freedom? When I began forging my art practice, I was met with a lot of opinions about the kind of art I should make. A collector once suggested to me that I should go to the marketplace to capture the hustle and bustle of Lagos. I was encouraged to illustrate images of women carrying children on their backs, and also basically advised to depict the suffering of my people. Everyone around me had a clear idea of how I should reflect my heritage through my art. But being told that my art was not African enough, especially being told by someone who is not even African, and I'm a Nigerian, it left me confused. It's not that I was trying to hide or run away from the realities of my country, but I wanted to speak to the truth through a lens of optimism, which I believe can be harnessed as both a form of resistance and a pathway to endless possibilities. What does it even mean to be an African artist? Being a continent so vast, it feels lazy and limiting to categorize us. With an artist from South Africa, which is 5 hours away by air, 94 hours away by car from Nigeria, and 55 days away by foot, and made up of an entirely different culture, would that artist be expected to create the same art as me? Artists from other continents, countries, or cities aren't boxed into one visual category. So why are we? This label has never done justice to the works created by artists, designers, creators, and storytellers who happen to emanate from the continent. So when I embarked on my journey, I wanted to rewrite the narrative of African art to show that it is one that embraces heritage while looking forward to the future. Wikipedia describes African art as the visual arts of native Africa, particularly sub-Saharan Africa, and includes media such as sculpture, painting, pottery, rock art, masks, personal decoration, and jewelry. These are the images that many of us think of automatically when discussing art from the continent. So in my first exhibition in 2017, when the gallery walls were lined with digital paintings of characters in space helmets, my first thought was, I am finished. What have I done? These early works were inspired by a segment I watched on CNN that debated the possibility of the Nigerian space program. Yes, we have a space program. From the start of my journey, I wanted us to be understood as a continent full of talent and potential. I have wanted to show that we are already future thinking and that we have a well-earned place within where the world and within where art is heading today. A visitor at that show told me that as a Nigerian, my work was something he felt he needed to see. And that made me start to believe that what I made, what we made, had the power to speak to others who haven't found themselves in the works that Africa is known for or expected to produce. My artistic language continually visualizes the continent's future while reaching to its past. I use motifs that speak to innovation, such as technology and architecture, alongside references to tradition, such as textiles, the Nigerian weave fans, and folklore. A symbol at the core of my work is the mask, which is an emblem to my childhood town, Festac. How many of us are from Festac here? This is the carved replica of the 16th century Benin ivory mask. Using of mask in my work not only allows me abstract the character while also speaking to my heritage, but it also abstracts, or rather it abstracts the character, allowing you, the viewer, reflect on the work freely and see yourselves in the worlds that I create. By drawing inspiration from mask design across Nigeria, for example, the Yoruba mask, which focuses on expressive facial details, and masks from other regions that express certain features, my goal was to make an adapted version of the mask that echoes Nigeria of today. I aim to make modern works of art that are reflective of my uniquely Nigerian and African heritage, but not solely defined by it. In my most recent series, Modern Magic, the works were a series of self-portraits that responded directly to my experience of being an artist participating in the arts world today, commenting on Blackness and its role in shaping contemporary culture. The characters present themselves as performers who are captured amidst moments of magic, with an emphasis on production and creating. This work marked a personal milestone in my ambition to combine the past and the present as a way to disrupt the notion of African arts by drawing directly from my experience as an artistic and cultural producer today. As I've grown, my work continually expands, and also employing technologies and new mediums also allows me to expand the ways that I'm able to share my message. In 2020, I collaborated with the New York design studio, Unique Board, to create Stand For. Stand For is an augmented reality sculpture which allows the viewer to place a digital sculpture anywhere in the world. And it asks the participants, what do you stand for? This work showed to me how we as artists today, we have the power to move art from a conventional gallery space into someone's living room. This shows that art is not about thinking inside or outside of the box. It is about considering whether there should even be a box in the first place. Last year, in response to the NSAS movement, I created Playful Rebellion. Playful Rebellion is a video game I made in collaboration with a Nigerian who runs a London-based studio. It is drawn from our long-standing history of police brutality, or rather our very recent history of police brutality, which we recognize as a very tough part of our reality. This video game's protagonist is a schoolboy with a mission to catch the bus on time while avoiding police officers. With this game, I wanted to highlight the issues of bad policing and how it can affect us from getting something as basic as education. Doing so through gaming allowed me to put the viewer, who is the player, in the shoe of the character to experience that frustration through his view. Again, exploring new mediums and developing technology allowed me to continually to push my confidence in the power of what I'm creating. The flexibility that comes with being an artist today is so exciting because the more freedom we have to create, the more growth and development can occur. I feel a responsibility to encourage every one of you in every career you choose to take to approach creativity through the same change-making lens, to implore artists to make works that speak to them outside of the core parameters set upon us. If the future is one where Africa and Africans are expected to have a place, then as a matter of urgency, it is our collective responsibility to take artistic license to create the future we wish to inherit and also to live for generations to come. Remember, guys, remember how they will pull your ear to make you listen. Remember, our future is yet to be written, and particularly within the context of art, we owe it to ourselves to have a hand in steering the course of history and, on our own terms, rewriting the future of African arts. Thank you.